Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well. So in this video we are going to install the VTK, or we can say build a VTK completely from the source. So let's get started. This video is going to be for the Windows operating system. So if you want to have some information about the building VTK in Linux, then I hopefully explain it in my next video. Okay, so in the current video, we're going to start. Let's start building the VTK from the source for the Windows operating system. So these are the prerequisites that must be installed first before proceeding to installing the VTK. Okay, so the first thing is CMake, right? So you can go to this link, and you can download the CMake. It is the same product of the same company, of the VTK, right? So the kitware has two products mainly which are used. The one is CMake and the other one is the VTK. Okay, so you can simply download the CMake. After downloading the CMake, you must copy uh, the bin folder, or the path of the CMake inside the environmental variables, right? So if I open environment variables here and then go to the path, so here you must add the installation directory installed path of the CMake, right, inside the system environmental paths. Okay, after the CMake is clear, and then you have to go for the Python. So Python, go for the Python, simply go to the python.org downloads, and you can install the latest version of the Windows. I would encourage you to install the latest, because I also have one of the latest version, which is 3.11. But the point here is, do not go below 3.4, or if you are using with Python, if you're going with Python 2, then it must be greater than the 2.7, right? So after installing Python, it automatically adds the path to your environmental variable. You have to just check a checkbox while installation, that add the path to the environmental variables. Okay, the next thing is Qt5. Okay, this is kind of an important step, and let me show you how we can do this. Okay, the first thing is building from source. uh, okay, the Qt has two versions. The first one is required some license, and it is used for enterprise applications, and the other one is open source, and we can download it without having any license, right? So just go to this link, doc.qt.io/qt5 windows building.html, and download the Qt for Windows. It is an installer kind of thing. So just Qt maintainer. So just let me show you that how it looks like. It should be like that, and then you have to add your login informations. It is free, so you can just go to the Qt website and sign up here, and the email and password, you have to put that email and password here in order to authenticate. Once you are authenticated, then you have to go to the select components, and in select components you have the liberty to choose which particular version of Qt is required in your case, right? So you must have to go with the Qt5 version, because it is listed here that the version of the Qt must be 5, right? So there could be a Qt6, but there is some like some repositories of Qt6, Qt4 available, so you must have to go with the Qt5, right? So install all the components of the Qt5, and don't check any boxes of the Qt6 and Qt4, because we only need Qt 5, right? Plus the processor for the Qt5, like the installation processor we require. They would give you two options. The first one is MinGW, right? So the first one is MinGW, and the next one is MSVC 2019. So you must go with the MSVC 2019, right? So you can install both, because I have already installed both, as you can see. Let me go to this here, see, and I've already installed the Qt. Just let me go through this. So I have 5.15.2 version, and I encourage you to go with the same version, because it is proven that that the VTK works with this version. Like, I have compiled the VTK once and it works. Okay, so I have these many um, compilation processors. I have downloaded the and installed the Qt with these installation processors. So I would go with the MSVC 2019-64, and it is recommended by the VTK that you should use this one. Okay, the next thing step would be go to this bin and copy this path and add it in your environmental variables, right? So go to environment variables and just add the path here. Add path here, right? So I have already added my path, so I won't gonna add it again. Okay, so let's get back to our documentation. Let's see what's remaining. Yeah, so there is two or three main things more remaining. Like these threes are already done. So installing Qt, yes, it's okay. Then yes, then we have to install the Microsoft MPI, right? Okay, so yes, simply download this installer here, MSMPI version 10.1.3, and after installing it, what you need to do is go to the environmental variables, and then you have to add these four paths here, right? So the directory is programming files Microsoft MPI / bin, MSMPI bin, and then you have to add the four paths. You can pause the video and you can go to the particular links, particular directories, and copy the paths and use the same system variables names, right? Okay, perfect. So once the CMake is installed, I forgot to add something. Once the CMake is installed, you can open up with you can see when you go to your search bar, you can access the CMake here, right? So you can also access if you are if you add the bin directory into the environmental variable, so you can also access the CMake from the command prompt, right? Okay, perfect. So let's move forward. So our MPI is also set up, so we have already set up the Python. So next step is to set up the Microsoft Visual Studio Community Edition, and we must go with the 64-bit version of it. And after that, we're going to install the build tools. That build tools would give you access to this native tools command prompt, which is very beneficial for in the installing building VTK, because without this we are not able to build the VTK, right? So you can install simply, this is the simplest process to install the VTK. You must have done in once in your life, or many times. Okay, installing the Visual Studio plus the build tools, right? So you can while when it is installed, and it would ask for you what to install, and then you can must select the build tools, and then all the necessary files for C++, data science, and Python, and then you when you go with it, I hope that there won't be any issues at all, right? So this is quite a simplest process, so I didn't get much deeper into it. So okay, so the next thing is quite important and quite useful, is downloading this Ninja, which is used for small build system, and it is majorly used. So it is quite simple. It is simply an exe file. You can clone it from this repository, or you can simply download the Ninja binary from here. So once I downloaded this binary, I decompressed it, and then it is simply an exe file. So what I would do is that I would copy the link of this exe and put it inside my environmental variable so that it can be accessible from our command prompt, right? So you have to add the path here, right? Add the path of this exe here. Perfect. Okay, so now let's see if any other step is remaining. Right. Yeah. So nothing is remaining. So let's proceed to building our VTK. So for that you must need this 64 native tools command prompt. So copy this here and just paste this, and let's um, start building VTK. So the very first step is to open this command prompt and run it as an administrator. If you don't run it as an administrator, it would create a lot of mess, right? So um, be, uh, the main leverage it would get by opening it as an administrator is that um, we we um, the permissions required for opening files are resolved, right? So if you go without administrator, so it would always give an error that they don't have permissions to the modify or open the files that you are looking for, right? So just open it as an administrator. Yes, perfect. And then you have to perform the second step, which is cloning the repository. So it is opening. I don't know why it is taking too much time, so let it open. So copy this link here to download. uh, as you can see, our prerequisites are complete. Okay, so now we are moving to the steps of building VTK. So the first step is to recursively clone the GitHub repository. So I have already did this, but I am just going to give you a short demo. That open in terminal here, and okay, so it is opening. Yeah, so simply paste this command here and press enter. So it will start cloning the repository. So as you can see, I've already cloned this VTK repository because it takes too much time around. It already depends, I would say precisely depends on your internet connection speed. So it took around 20 minutes to clone the repository. After that you are going to create a new folder named, you can call it build one, or because I already have a build folder, so I'm going to name it as a build one. Okay, so after creating a folder, now why you are, yes, it is running right now. Okay, so now point our this tool to the following directory, and then yes, we are now in we take a new directory, and then cd build one, yes, and here we are going to open cmake and then just cmake GUI, right? So cmake GUI is open. Okay, the point here is I have two cmake GUIs build. Okay, so delete cache. Oh no, okay. I I accidentally delete the build cache of my just give me 1 minute. Yeah, okay, that's not a big deal. Okay, so this is the source code path, right? So just let me get you through it. So this is our VTK. So this is the directory that we have cloned. So we will copy the path here, and we will paste the path as the source code path. And the next thing is where to build the binaries, right? So we have to specify that we want the binaries to be built in this build one folder, right? Perfect. Select this one, and after that press configure button, and here you must select the generator as a ninja, right? um, if you are going with Visual Studio 2019 version, and one more thing, that you must have the Visual Studio 2019 version, because without this you are not going to get this uh, native command prompt. And all of these kitware products like ParaView, VTK, these support 2019 version Visual Studio for building their products, right? So we are going with the Ninja. You must select Ninja here. If you go with this option, it would create a lot of errors, right? Okay, so press yes. Okay, it's in error in configuration. It must be invalid. Hmm. Okay, yeah, I didn't give a valid path here, so must be slash VTK. Yes, so it should be, it must point to the VTK source. I was just pointing towards something else. Now configure. Okay, as you can see, it is, the process has been started. Once it detects the compiler of C, C++, it means that the process has been started. Like, so it would take around I would say 20 to 25 minutes. It depends upon your machine, how fast is your machine or how powerful it is. So it would take some time. So after I'm going to pause the video, so we will continue after once it is installed. Once it configures the project, it doesn't uh, it isn't installed yet. We have to perform, already we have to perform a lot of steps now after that. So just wait for it to complete. So perfect, our VTK has been configured. So let's click on generate. So it would take a minute or less than a minute. Yeah, generating done. So after that, oh, okay, so before generating, if you are building VTK for your specific version, like you want to create some applications that support Qt within the VTK, like you are going to make some Qt based VTK applications, or you are compiling it for some um, isolated VTK C++ applications. So you have to um, check according to your use case, right? So if like this one, VTK group enable Qt. So if you are using if you want Qt in your compiled VTK, or build version of VTK, then you must have to check this as yes. And then the web applications are related to the VTK, and then use MPI for parallel processing, and then wrap Python to access the Python utilities provided by the VTK. And after that, you are going to generate it. Okay, so it won't take much time, I would say. And in the build examples, so I would also check this one. This would be very beneficial, because it build the examples um, of, because as you can see that the VTK has a complete uh, web for examples of the VTK. So it also comes with this cloned version of the VTK. So you can go and check out those examples, and if clicking install those examples or build those examples, that would beneficial in a sense that it would, you don't need to build an application. You just go and run the installed version of the examples. Like, it would create some exe files, and you can go and install those. So in IO you would see that there are a lot of important examples, right? So it would build it for you. So I'm going without it, but if you want to do, you can go with it, right? So this one is our okay, perfect. So our the build and configuration, configuration and generating process is done. So let's move to the next step of building the VTK. Once it is configured and generated, now it's time to build. Let's go back to the to its documentation to see how we can proceed further. Okay, after that, you can close your CMake if you are done with this implementation or this changing. As you can see, once I enabled it as yes, so it automatically imported all the prerequisites, or we can say the necessary files for the Qt5 to the project. And in the same way, as I enabled the Python 3, so it included the Python 3 libraries and executables. Okay, so now we can exit it. Okay, close this one and go back to the same native 64 tools command prompt and use ninja command to start the build process. So as you can see, the building of the VTK is started, right? So it would take um, around 1 hour, because it depends on it is a kind of a generic time, because it got a lot of files. As you can see, 1000 plus files, like it is 10,000 files, right? So so now we haven't crossed 100 yet, so it would take time. So you can go and drink some coffee, and you can come back and the VTK would be installed. So I hope you enjoyed. So thanks for watching.